Welcome to DU Digimon. Hey guys, and welcome to DU Digimon. My name is Alex from Team DU Digimon, and today I wanted to show you a little profile on one of my favorite decks at the moment, which is Machinedramon. Now, you may have seen in our recent deck matchup, we've had Dynamon versus Machinedramon. So if you've had a look at that, you'll already have a sneak peek of what we're showing you today. But I want to show you my take on Machinedramon as it's being played at the moment. Basically, just wanted to speed it up. We're taking a step away from the previous. It all started. Machinedramon was very much like an on-play style deck. What with the standard cards such as Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. We then changed it to a Digivolving Up style as of BT11, with BT11 Machinedramon being an on-play and when Digivolving to Search Analog Man. I don't think it's okay, but it's very slow. This deck is already going to be slow enough compared to a lot of the top tier competition, but it's much faster than it has been before. And I wanted to show you how we're giving it that speed today. So now let's stop the ramble and get straight into the deck. So we are playing a purple base. So straight away, when we talk about speed, we are talking about purple. So we are playing 4 copies of the BT15 Meramon. And the reason we play this one is because we run so many level 5 or higher Digimon that we're okay trashing them, building up our resources for Ex08 Machinedramon to attach them from the trash just to gain us some more draw. By trashing a piece you're going to attach later, draw 2 cards. This is where the speed comes in. So we are running 4 of the level 2 Meramon BT15, but I'm also running 1 more of the OG BT3, just on deletion, draw 1, trash 1, because we have enough level 4s in the, level 3s, sorry, in this deck, and we need the eggs to help us get through and make sure we pick up cards. So if you do see this one, it's not an issue. It's just a 5th chance to get some more cards in. Now, if you can see purple base, you can probably predict straight away which level 3 is being played, and we are playing the BT16 Ukamon. Now, I understand a lot of people think that this might be a card that's going to get hit very soon, which why at the end of the video, I'm going to have some alternatives you can use very soon. But it being only a 1 cost to 1 an egg, yes, if you go turn 1 Uka, you do pass, but you're only giving your opponent 1. So it is just as irritating for your opponent as it is them then seeing that they're going to make 1 play and you'll start your turn. So you're going to be able to pull out your Uko, get your search. Uko's then going to hatch one of your other eggs straight away and get yourself ready for either another Uko or just get yourself ready for more draw. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone knows what it does. And then you just swing with Uko for a free check. But besides the Ukos, we are also playing some more of the draw engine. My personal preference is Candlemon. Candlemon is another on deletion to draw, but also on deletion to gain a memory, depending on the situation. So Candlemon is if your opponent has 1 or less memory, draw 1 card. So essentially, if I've pulled it out of racing and I swing, I'm going to draw a card when it dies. I can't tell you how many times this does not die in security, though. If your purple level 3 swing and they don't die, there's nothing you can do about it. They then get bounced or returned to deck. It's a nightmare, but that's his own issue. But there's a little interaction with the second part of this on deletion that I'll show you a little later on. Now the other level 3 we are using is just nice and easy. Tape him on deletion, draw 1. You can run level 3s such as Fascomon, which are on deletion, draw 1, trash 1, but you actually don't need to trash that often. There's a couple of pieces you do want in trash, which we'll discuss later, but all your level 5 cyborg pieces you're okay to keep in your hand because you can save them for your analog man to be live to trash and draw 1, gain 1. And you're also, when you use your EX1 Machinedramon, you can use the parts from hand. So there's no harm in holding onto them, unless you're really worried about the Mirage Galgamon matchup. But I can't help you there, that card needs to get hit. And there'll be a whole video discussing what should be hit coming up very soon, if it's not out already. Our level 4s is really simple. We are just running the still expensive Raremon promo. I am sorry if it's not a card you've got a hold of just yet. It has been reprinted as a regional participant card, I believe, in 2024. But the colour and the draw is really necessary, I think. Being an on-play level 4 forecast to trash a card, draw 2, or when digivolving to do so as well, it's just great. So if you decide, oh, actually my Tapemon didn't die when I swung, you can digivolve for 3 cost into a Raremon, get more draw, because you've still got your eggs on deletion to let you trash and draw as well. It's just there. But the purple-black helps meld your egg and level 3s, purples, going into your level 5s, should you need to. So because it's part black, it does mean that should you want to, you can digivolve into your level 5s. And there is a really important one that does come up as well. So you end up passing, and you know you've got this out on the board, or it's swung and it survived somehow. You've just got a 4K black purple. It's not doing anything until it gets deleted. You have got one response you can make. If your opponent swings, you then have access to your level 5s, starting off with the Cybertron Ace. So if you do have that Raremon sticking out, you can. When your opponent swings, you can blast Digivolve into this for free with the effect of looking at your top 5 cards and playing a black tamer if you do find one. Now, because Cybertron Ace does only fetch the black tamers, I have changed this deck up a little bit. We used to run the Matashida from what's it called? ST16. But unfortunately, because it whiffs with Cybertron, we've dropped it. But the Inheritable on the Cybertron Ace is also really important. It's another D-Digivolve. One of your opponents when you swing. So this has replaced our Megadramon ST15 instead. But because you can just drop it for the sake of getting a free play off the top of your deck, it's really useful, and a D-Digivolve if you do have a Black Tamer. I'm going to move along quite quickly because if you're familiar with Machinedramon, you might recognise a fair few of these anyway. Machinedramon from EX4 is a blocker inheritable. Our Andromon is a reboot inheritable, but also if you Digivolve over your Raremon, it's a D-Digivolve 1. The next up is probably the main part of this deck and how it deals damage, and that is our security trashing inheritables. So Metal Tyrannomon from BT11 and Metal Tyrannomon EX08 and Rapidmon ST17 all have the exact same inheritable of all turns. If this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, trash top of their security. And it's really, it's so fun when you watch them swing. And there's a redirect option that I've got coming up to show you in a moment, and you watch them die and you watch them trash their security because you force them to. Or if you do have that attack of the mobile heavy Digimon straight away, if they block, they're going to lose security. If you can force them to block, which is another card I'll show you, then they're going to lose that security. And it's so much easier to trash security rather than combat it, because you can't. When you start combating, even with security attack pluses, you've got to wait for effects to resolve each time you check them. So if there's a security effect that triggers, that could potentially end your further swings. And it's just better to trash them overall. Yes, there are yellow cards which trigger when you trash them. It's still so much easier. The pros outweigh the cons of going with trash security rather than security attack pluses anymore. Now, aside from those, we do run, I believe, 15 level 5s. But we need to make our Machinedramon that's going to be equipping all these bigger. And one of the ways to do that is going to be with the recent BT18 Jet Sylphimon and Daipenmon. These are both cyborgs, which is really cool. Level 5 cyborgs, both in red, which means they do get equipped by the EX1 Machinedramon. With the exact same inheritable of all turns, this Digimon gets plus 2k. So that's great, because previously we've had to jump in between a Megadramon and Gigadramon, which are your turn gain 2k and the opponent's turn gain 2k. Now we just gain 2k. Next up, just in case you need a little bit more DP when you swing, Metalgramon BT1. We're using this one just because it is plus 3k when you swing. In my opinion, there's no reason to not use this if you just want that extra DP. You can run an extra copy of a Daipen or a Jet Sylphy for the sake of seeing one of those, but just to let you know that you will only be able to attach one per card code, like set number, under an EX1 at a time. But there's nothing to stop you from saying change this to a Daipen, because you can go Daipen into Machinedramon, under an EX1 Machinedramon, then Digivolve that EX1 Machinedramon to your Chaosdramon and equip another one. So you can do that too. So have a look to see what you prefer. Now, for some attack redirection, we do like, or attack choices. Metal Greymon from BT8. This one's been around it's literally since BT8. If you're a machine, you can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon, so you just don't give them the choice, and I really like that. But for some shenanigans, we are also running EX7 Gigadramon with the inheritable of Collision. Collision forcing your opponent to block is really fun. Sometimes you get that Magnamon matchup. I don't know if you're going to be big enough, but it does come up. Yes, they'll be unaffected, but because they inherently have blocker on their card, Collision affects your opponent, and they have to tell one of their Digimon that they'll be blocking. So if it's just a Magnamon matchup, you can force their Magnamon to block. I don't think you're going to get big enough to take out a Magnamon, but it can happen. That's its own issue. But the reason I really like Collision is not only are you forcing your opponent to combat with a Digimon more often than they'd like, This is a bit gimmicky, but I really, really like it. It's really fun. But you can also interact with ST1 Metal Greymon with Inheritable. During your turn, if this Digimon is blocked, gain 3 memory. So if you do the Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon, which costs you dropping any X1 Machinedramon costs 12, gain back 5 by attaching 5 level 5s. So you're now on giving your opponent 7. If you then swing with a collision in Metal Greymon ST1, you're going to gain back 3. So depending on how much memory you had initially, you might still actually have a turn left. It's just really fun. I really like it. It means that you can extend your turns a bit more. But the final one we are using is Machinedramon BT9. For the when digivolving to delete an opponent's Digimon or Tamer of 3 cost or less is really, really fun. It deletes Shotos against Dynamon. It deletes Ryotaro. It deletes Analog Youths. It's really, really cool. And the Inheritable's the same as well, which is when you're swinging, if you're a Machine or Dragon, can delete your opponent's Digimon or Tamers 3 cost or less. It does miss on the memory Tamers, which is a shame, but just deleting Tamers is always good. It's one of the few level 5s I would potentially increase to 2 in, but the deck is so tight on space. And the next up, there actually is another level 5 I want to show you, which is what makes this deck so much faster, but I'll just remind you what the EX1 Machinedramon does first. So EX1 Machinedramon is one of the oldest Machinedramons we've got, probably the best one still, of on play, place up to 5 black or red cyborg level 5s from your hand or trash under this, but only 1 per, what's the actual wording is, 1 per card number. Card number, thank you. So while it does cost 12, really only costs 7, but you've got to make sure you've got that 2, because you can't give your opponent 12, you can only give them 10. And that's why you will need a memory tamer, really. It's just so good because it also has the alternative effect of its DP can't be reduced, which is really strong. And if it would be deleted, you can just trash 2 of its level 5 sources instead. Doesn't need much explanation. Machinedramon is just so good. But the reason this is so much easier to get out now is with the brand new card from BT19, Chimeramon. Now, Chimeramon is so fun, so fun, because it does let you pick up your Machinedramons from the trash. So previously, it's been a case of you find the Machinedramon, you keep it in hand, and if it was in your security and you got trashed, there's not a lot you can do about it, because Black doesn't have a lot of ways to recycle from trash just yet. But the Chimeramon is where you do pick up those Machinedramons. So if you do end up having to early game trash a Machinedramon with your Demi-Meramons, it's absolutely fine because Chimeramon's going to play it back. The on-play and when digivolving Chimeramon is to delete one of your level 4 or lower purple or red Digimon. To delete one of your opponent's level 3, 4, and 5. So straight away, you're already interacting with your opponent. You're wiping out some blockers. You're wiping out some floodgate level 3s that say like, oh, your opponent can't gain memory for the rest of the turn. No, you're done now. The way you do that... oh, sorry, I've got that wrong. So you delete one of your Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 3, 4, and 5. I'm getting my effects mixed up. I've done that on the video as well for Dynamo versus Machinedramon. So you delete the Chimeramon. You play it for 8. You delete the Chimeramon, and you delete their 3, 4, and 5, one of each. The Chimeramon is now off the board, and that's where my preferred one of Candlemon comes in. So say you've just brought Candlemon out of raising, you're not going to swing with it because you're playing Chimeramon, wipe out a 3, 4, and a 5. Chimeramon's second effect then kicks in, which is on deletion. By deleting one of your level 4 lower purple or red Digimon, play Machinedramon from your trash without paying the cost. So you've given your opponent, say you're on 3, because of your memory tamer, you give them 5. Chimeramon then deletes the Candlemon, and then plays you out your Machinedramon. Now, a couple of things go off here. So you've got the on deletion of your Candlemon, and then you've got the effect of Machinedramon to stack 5 under it, up to 5, and gain 5 memory. Resolve the Candlemon first off on deletion. If your opponent's got 1 more memory, gain a memory. So now they've gone from 5 to 4. Your Machinedramon then kicks in, you put a whole stack under it, you gain 5, so now you're at 1 memory. You've still got your turn. There are some other things as well to make sure that it lasts a little bit longer, but that combo straight away is just really fun. And it meant that I didn't have to do the whole, oh, I've got to keep in my hand, I've got to wait for the pieces to come together. I can trash them early, it's just safe in my trash, and play it out whenever I want to. And I really, really like the new Chimeramon. It's really cool, it goes with the deck. We are still playing the rest of the level 6 package though, which is 3 Chaosdramon, because we do need Machinedramon as a priority, because it is the one that we fetch from the trash. We can't really do anything with Chaosdramon in the trash, but it is another on play to put up to 3 beneath it, don't get any memory gain, but you do get to de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon for up to the amount that you stack under it. And the alternate effect is also a lot stronger of, it doesn't just stop deletion, but it can stop itself from being returned to the hand or deck by just trashing the 2 level 5s as well. And we are playing the one of our very pretty, where have I just put it? Chaosdramon X Antibody. Chaosdramon X is a win more card. It's really nice to stack the effects of Machinedramon, Chaosdramon, and Chaosdramon X, because X Antibody does say that it has the effects of both Machinedramon and Chaosdramon beneath it. So you've got DP protection. If it would be deleted, bounced, or spun, you could trash 2 of your source instead. And if this would be deleted, trash your top opponent's top security, then start your turn, you put another source under it from your trash. Really fun stuff. I'm really liking these Digimon, but you do have the space issue. And that's where these next few cards will change up from person to person. I am running only 3 of the main Tamer Analog Man. That is because you don't need 4 on the board. Yes, you do want as many as possible for those redirects because of the opponent's turn. If your opponent is swinging, once they've resolved all their effects, at your blocker timing, you can choose to redirect their attack into one of your level 6 machines. It's only a level 6 machine, which is really annoying future-proofing on the card, but it is what it is. So you can redirect it into Machinedramon without having to give it blocker, which is why I'm only running the 1 blocker inheritable. But the all turns effect of trash level 5 in your hand, with cyborg as traits, gain 1, draw 1. That's why you really want to save all the level 5s you pick up in your hand rather than trashing them early on with the other level 3s you could be using, such as Fascomon. We are running the 1 Analog Man because we are short on space, and you can see this quite early on. That's also because I need the space for guaranteeing how much memory start of the turn, and that was going to bring us to tie. As I said, I was previously using Matt Ishida from the similar starter decks because that would have gained us a memory every time we trashed. So essentially this combo, start of turn gain 3, trash 1, you go up to 4, because we trash go up to 5, which would have been a really nice combo, but it whiffs with Cybertron Ace, so we're dropping it for the time being. Tie also comes in really nicely because when you do redirect, Tie says, oh, because an attack is being redirected, you can give that Digimon extra 2k and you get a draw. So there's a bit more speed, I guess. Once it's out, your opponent is very well aware of what is happening, but it's also a case of when you force collision, you give yourself another 2k, and that's the other reason we like collision over the Metal Greymon BT8, because that's not a redirect, that's giving the choice to attack an unsuspended. But that's it for our Tamers, running the 5 Tamers, which it does mean that the Cybertron Ace whiffs a little bit more than we'd like it to, but it's still like a crucial component of the deck. Now, you've seen it already, but I'm running the 3 Attack of the Heavy Mobile Digimon. This is mandatory. I used to only run it at 2 because we were drawing more, but I want to see it sooner. Sometimes it goes into the security, so if you're only running the 2, once you security, you're now drawing through your deck, waiting to find the other one. It has happened, but this card allows you to force out your EX1 Machinedramon to tuck the sources under it. It gains Blitz with a new effect added to it of on play if this has sources. It gains Rush, and if you've got sources under you when you play it, which because you're timing, you put sources under it and then you declare the Blitz, you can swing your opponent. Which is really cool because you can start trashing the security. Then in their turn, Analog Man is going to force them to attack your Machinedramon as well. You can destroy more security. It's getting that Machinedramon out so much faster, filling up your trash faster, enables you to end the game faster. But one of my newer tech cards, I'm really enjoying this one, really cheap card, is Laplace's Demon. Now, if you do happen to be in a position where you just have the Machinedramon to pass, you can drop Laplace's Demon first and tell one of their Digimon, no, when you start your main phase, that is going to swing. You then drop your Machinedramon, or you drop your Chaosdramon, whatever you need to, and your Analog Man says, no, now that you're swinging, because I'm going to force you to swing, Analog Man says you swing into this, you'll die because it's probably smaller, you'll get your sources, and if you've got your sources that trash security, that's an all turns effect, so you force them to start deleting their security again. Sometimes you can't afford to play Machinedramon and guarantee a swing. Sometimes you don't have that option, so I've added another one that says no, your opponent swings. There is a little match I hope we get uploaded soon, which includes forcing my opponent's Metal Digimon Ace to swing into Machinedramon. It gets deleted and it overflows for 4, so it goes back to my turn. So that was really fun. That was really fun. It's a really cool tech. I recommend giving a go and telling me what you think of it. And that is it for my profile. I wanted to use a little bit of time to show you some alternatives. As I said in the video, we used to play with a very different package. The EX1 cards were pretty much the way to play for a good long while. But as I said, there's very little reason to check security with piercing and security attack because you're combating things that you're unaware of. Whereas if you trash them, no security effects will be activating unless there's some yellow and purple cards. So we're no longer playing the Machinedramon and Megadramon. We're no longer playing Machinedramon because the reboot can be obtained from other cards. And the when digivolving effects of the Machinedramon, the Machinedramon, and the Andramon we don't need it. We're not going to go and digivolve all the way up to level 5s to add one card and trash the rest. Just do it with your purples. So we're not playing that package anymore. We're not playing the security attack plus 1 Machinedramon. Just don't do it. It's not what I'd recommend. If you want some more reboot options, you have got Gigadramon from BT15, which does have the on-play effect to allow you to try and search for your level 6 Digimon, your Machinedramon, Chaosdramon, and Chaosdramon X. But you do, you look at the top 4 and only add the 2, and then you've just paid 6 memory to do so. If you want the inheritable, go for it. But I would say in that case, just use Gigadramon from BT11 because it's got jamming. If you do happen to digivolve into it, at least you get a free swing that you're not already bothered by, and it is what it is. If you wanted some more security trashing, you also have Vespermon and Cannon Beamon. I have seen some builds where they just go all in and add one of each card that allows you to have an inheritable of just trash security. Because it means you're going to see them sooner. It means you're going to guarantee you're going to get a stack together. So you force your opponent to swing or block them, and or just swing with your blitz combo and start breaking down. So these two are really, really good. In fact, I'm actually tempted to give them a go myself. If you don't want to use Ukamons, or if we very soon potentially lose them, there are some alternatives to replace it with. You have got Syakumon, which is an on-player effect, so it doesn't quite mesh with your egg. It doesn't mean you're going to draw extra for having gone over into your egg, besides the draw for evolution. But the on-play for each opponent's Digimon, draw 1 and then trash 1 card. This could potentially explode and let you draw so much. It's a little bit iffy for me. I'd rather just make sure I have a draw on deletion. But, you pick and choose what you like. I may very well use this if we lose Ukamon. Just another purple. But there is another alternative as well. A little bit different. It's the ST18 Gabumon for a starter main phase if your opponent has the Digimon gain a memory. It'll be another way that we can start our turn with a little bit more memory. But also when attacking to draw 1, trash 1. If you happen to go Gabumon into a Raremon potentially, that's just more drawing, more trashing, which is pretty cool. Another one you can use as well for loosely Ukos. There's no harm in some floodgates. Well, you've got your Gazimon all turns to stop memory, except from Tamers, and all turns players can't reduce place costs. And this works really well because Machinedramon isn't having its play cost lowered. You're actually paying the full cost but gaining memory from it, which is why opposing Gazimons are a problem. So the Chimeramon combo to delete the Gazimon and then do your combos is great. But Purple's got plenty of options for your level 3s. If you want to try some different options, I was previously running a missed memory boost to add a little bit more speed. It does mean that if you happen to run a level 3 over your egg turn 1, you can then instead use a missed memory boost to make sure you get some memory later. You get to trash start some of your deck, put some level 5s in there if you like, put Machinedramon in there to get a draw. Just a little bit more speed. I'm not as big a fan of it anymore. If anything, I'd much rather run a purple scramble. Purple scramble's really cool, really, really cool. I don't need to talk too much about scrambles, but one of the combos you can do with this one is if it is all set up, you could, let's say, use the effect to place a Candlemon at the top of your deck. Place a Chimeramon at the top of your deck. So that way in a second you'll draw it, but then use the second effect to play a Candlemon with the, if you don't have a Digimon to play a purple with 2k or less, which then means you're going to draw the Chimeramon for start of turn, use the effect straight away to go Chimeramon, delete itself, delete a 3 or 5, use the effect of Chimeramon to delete the Candlemon, play a Machinedramon, and all of a sudden you swing again. So that's really fun, and that's why you got the Purple Scramble as an option. If you want to go a little harder, instead of Lapus's Demon, you can use the Trident Arm, which does the same thing, but it does D-Digivolve 3 the Digimon first. So if they have no D-Digivolve protection, and they're just a little bit too big, make them smaller, take off their top stack, and just make them swing afterwards. So it does cost a little bit more memory. The security effect is a little different. You're not adding it. It's actually just a D212-3 when they swing, which is very strong, but doesn't stop said Digimon from swinging necessarily. So it's not as effective. You pick what you want, but I'm trying to save as much memory per turn as possible. And the final one, as you've seen, is the Matt Ishida. If I wasn't running the Cyberdramon Ace, I'd probably still be running Matt. But the tie to, if you trigger a collision, give yourself another 2k, it's really handy to have that extra 2k boost. Especially since we're only relying on Daipen, Jet Sylphie, and a Metal Greymon to give us additional DP when we swing. But also making sure that we're bigger when we're blocking or using Analog Man is really, really cool as well. But there are some options for the deck. That is everything from me, guys. Please let us know in the comments what you thought of this one. Are you going to give this a go? Do you have any suggestions for this deck? It is still a little bit on the slow side in the grand scheme of the meta, but it is much faster than Machinedramon used to be. I'm really, really enjoying this. I'm really looking forward to the Andromon, Metal Greymon, Megadramon, all the other cards they've recently revealed will be coming to us in a future set with a really cool design, looking like the previous Digivices too. Apart from that, if you'd like to see some more matches with this deck, please let us know in the comments. You'll have a great day. Keep it digital.